All right. Hello, everyone. I am on quarantine. This is my first day on quarantine. I just got back from London, so this has been happening amidst all the craziness. I got back 10 days, maybe 11 days earlier than I planned on. I'll explain a little more of that soon, but I'm just doing a journal. So my sister is being very nice. She's letting me stay with her, and I get my own little area to myself. Um, so I asked her for some groceries, which she was so kind to grab for me, and I have a little of that. Yep, that's the situation. Super exciting. The thing is, I realized I forgot margarine, so I can't fry my eggs on the stove. So I'm gonna try something different. I'm going to microwave them. I have microwaved eggs before. It does work. You just have to do it properly. So, wish me luck, I guess. But I'm gonna go up to her place later and see if she has any margarine that I can borrow. So, this is what it looks like. It's a little scary looking. I know, this is why I don't prefer to do this. Alright. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about myself. So my name is Laura, and I'm just going to explain. I am in the process of becoming a missionary in London uh, through YWAM. So the whole reason I was overseas as an American is because I was doing that. I was in leadership school. I was learning about what leadership means and how it works in a mission context. Obviously, I was there for quite a bit of time. So I got there like mid-January, I believe, mid-late January, and then I was supposed to leave March 31st because I planned on going off to Sweden in order to visit some relatives. Some of that I was going to spend with relatives that were over in Sweden, and some of that I was going to spend traveling and attempting to see the northern lights and maybe doing some other really cool things like dog sledding and ice climbing, stuff like that. Just really awesome, fun things. So obviously the coronavirus broke out, and it had been going for a while, but we didn't really know a whole lot about it at the time. Things started looking a little fishy when Italy closed its borders, obviously. And I was like, okay, so this is getting a little chaotic, but I believe it's like the whole issue has been contained, not completely, but obviously enough to a point that I can still travel. I can still go to Sweden right after. Everything's going to be fine. And I had a friend that was going to go with me. Um, yeah, so obviously things became more and more regulated with time, and I was like, okay, maybe this is more serious than I thought. And I was correct. It is. So here we are now. I um, ended up changing my flight. Um, well, actually, I was really struggling to do anything with my flight to Sweden, but um, shortly before, uh, shortly before I was supposed to fly out anyway, Sweden shut its borders to anyone that wasn't a Swedish resident, so anyone that wasn't a Swedish citizen. And I was shut out, but that is okay. And I was like thinking to myself, okay, so this is going to be fine. I can just stay in England and just enjoy other parts of England that I haven't seen. Because if you've been to London before, you understand that London isn't exactly a very fair representation of the entirety of England or the entirety of the UK. So you really want to see some of the other parts of the UK. And I was like, okay, so for the last 10 days before my flight takes place back to the United States, I can enjoy, like, I had my eye on Bath, England. I just thought that would be a really cool area. So I was looking at stuff in that area, but then we were quarantined at the YWAM base to stay within our temporary residence at the time. So that happened, and knowing me, I just started going crazy because I can't stand to not leave the house. Yeah, so obviously things became really severe. But I was like, it's fine. I'm going to get out and I'm just going to enjoy myself. I'm going to find myself a nice little Airbnb, and I, yeah, I'm going to enjoy myself, and it's not going to be a big deal. But the more I thought about it, I was like, I feel crazy right now and I'm locked in with people. How am I going to be when I can't do a whole lot in England, in Bath, England, and I'm still like locked in but completely alone? So that sparked the question, and I was like, I should just bump my flight up and I could just visit for maybe 2 or 3 days and then I will leave. So that's what I did. Then things were kind of going absolutely nuts, obviously. And that didn't end up happening either, so word was passing around that it's possible that either England or the United States would end up shutting their borders altogether. Maybe not necessarily intentionally, but for example, in New Zealand, there were so few flights going out that the airlines just had to stop them altogether. They didn't have a choice. It wasn't financially reasonable. So we were worried that that was going to happen, and I think I jumped to change my flight again at the right time. So I bumped my flight up to be pretty much the last day of my leadership school, and then I left. And it was a very strange experience going into the airport. I don't have the tendency to live in fear, so I'm completely fine. I don't mind at all. And yes, so I got in the airport, and there's a bunch of people and they have like masks over their mouths and noses, and some of them even have goggles on. I was really confused as to why so many people were doing that, because we were led to believe by the news, which falsified all this, that covering your mouth and nose and your eyes didn't do anything. We were told, oh, it's not airborne, it's fine. But turns out they were just freaking out because we were running out of supplies from China, because China was being a brat. And they happen to have, they make everything for us. They make everything for like basically the world. So they lied instead of telling us the truth. And I just thought to myself, that's stupid, because even if we didn't have masks, some of us could wear like a little scarf over our mouth, or like some of us could, like some of us are really crafty and we can sew our own little masks, and we can wash them and we can wear them again. But no, they had to lie to us. So there's that. And then, yeah, so I was in the airport, and I think some of my favorite sights were, like this one girl, she was really cautious, and she had like a full-blown like hospital grade disposable onesie. It was all like white and like that like hospital material, and it like zipped up the middle, everything, and she had on these little booties, and then she obviously had the face mask and the eye mask, the goggles, all that, and like she even had like a little hood on. So yeah, just entertainment. Yeah, so things were complicated. My original plan was to go home and to live with my mom and dad, just for the time being, until
I had enough funds to go over to England and live as a full-time missionary. Signing a contract or a lease on my own for an apartment doesn't make a whole lot of sense now, does it, if I'm going to be here less than a year. But the thing is, here, I know I look young, but I'm 28, and my parents had me at an older age. So my mom is almost 70, so I guess I would make so she's 69, and my dad is 75 or 6, something like that. So then the concern arose, are they too old for me to go back and live with them right away? Because even though I know that they are very strong and stable and relatively healthy people, I just couldn't. I I know the coronavirus is more aggressive towards older people, and it's the ones that tend to. Older people are the ones that tend to die from that virus, and that's really the only reason we have so much fear over it. We're not really that fearful for like young people or middle-aged people even. We're more afraid for those that have high health risks, they're pregnant or they're older. So yeah. So I worked it out with my sister, and instead that I was gonna come and stay with her for the time being. So her husband runs a little campground. So that is where I am right now. So I'm quarantined for 2 weeks because that is the protocol for anyone that has traveled internationally at all before entering the country. I'm not happy about it, but it is what it is, and I'm just gonna try to make the most of this time. So the only people I interact with are my sister, my brother-in-law, and their 3 kids, which are super adorable and great. I wish I could record my time with them, but I want to respect their privacy. I think that's kind of the gist of why I'm here and all that, so thanks for listening, I guess.
Okay, so today is day 2 of quarantine. We have a slight dilemma already. So here we have the stove, and I cannot for the life of me get it to work. She's dated, she's old. I've tried every single burner many times. I think the fire from this is out, so that's fun. I was in England for 2.5 months, I think, and I haven't had mac and cheese in a really long time because they don't have boxed mac and cheese. They only have it in cans, which is super weird. So this is going to be our experiment. I'm going to attempt to have mac and cheese for breakfast, and we are going to try to use a coffee pot. This could go horribly wrong. Don't try. Okay, so there's the nudes. We're gonna try to figure out how this works. I think we'll go for whatever that means. Yeah. Obviously there's no coffee grounds in here. Just a blank filter. Okay, so someone's calling me.
Okay, so my brother-in-law came to check on me, so I hid this in here just so he wouldn't judge me.
Okay, so when I was in the airport, I panic bought a lot of items because I was like, this is the last time I'm going to see civilization. So here we go. We've got 2 face masks. One of them is Soap and Glory because I haven't tried a lot of stuff by them, so I wanted to try. I have a Boots sheet mask that's with collagen. I have this super awesome Korean situation which is an eye mask. So this is a hair mask, and yeah, coconut. Awesome. Here's another hair mask. Mucho moisture. Yes. So I think I have a couple other items I have. Okay, here are the other things I bought. So this is a Soap and Glory body scrub. It's really mini, shea butter and sugar and apricot. And then this is some kind of body butter. So the righteous butter. So I have the stove working.
Is it going? Wait. Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay, so today is day 8. I know it's been a while since I vlogged or anything, but yeah, so I have this weird arrangement here on the bed, just like pillows for like the middle of my back, because this mattress is so terrible that I am in so much pain every single day, just on my lower back. But that's okay. So I'm probably going to go off and take a little hike, and who knows? We'll see what happens. I already spent this morning, you know, reading my Bible. So I'm in Deuteronomy right now, and I'm also in John. Yes. And yeah. So pretty awesome. I have a study Bible. I know that's pretty obvious. It's real thick, and it provides lots of commentary on different details that help give context, help give details about what life was like back in the day, or if a passage is confusing, it explains it a little bit. There's maps, there's like diagrams sometimes that break things down in a way that you'd understand it from many different chapters or many different passages across the Bible. And let's see, I feel like I see, yep, there's some kind of diagram. And yeah, and sometimes there's pictures illustrating what the experts believe like a building would have looked like from the explanation that is given, or from historical findings, or anything like that. So it's actually pretty good. There's also, let me see if I can find a good example of this. In the front of every chapter, there's an introduction to each book. Well, actually at the front of the Bible, there's a lot of explanations about the Bible, so that's very helpful, especially if you are new to Christianity and you really want to understand more. So if you see here, it says Introduction to Genesis. So this is at the front of every single book of the Bible, and it gives a lot of details of the background. So we might go through, let's see, author, title, date, so that you know who's speaking and when they were speaking and why that matters. And then it talks about the arrangement, and this says the place in the Pentateuch. The theme, it talks a little bit about that. Key themes that are scattered about the book. Yeah, so it's actually very, very helpful. And I feel like even as a Christian that has been a believer for a very long time, it gives a lot of insight and is really helpful. And even though a lot of it is stuff I already knew, a lot of it gives perspective to things I already know or teaches me something new. So that's really awesome and really incredible. Okay, I think I'm gonna go on a walk. Okay, so check this out. So my phone was going off like crazy this morning. Actually, I have two phones because I am a US citizen and I'm preparing to live in England. And yeah, so they were going off like crazy. Emergency alert severe. State needs licensed healthcare workers to sign up at illinoishelps.net to fight COVID-19. Okay, so today is day 11, so we're getting through this second week pretty good. My place is kind of a mess, so we're gonna work that out later. I can explain all that, especially in the back by the couch there. So the whole reason that I have been sleeping on the couch is because originally I was, oh, it's messy in here too, sleeping on the bed, but my back hurt so bad and it was so painful to sleep on this bed that I made the decision to move all the way to the couch just to see if that would work. And you know what? It did. My back has stopped being in pain. I feel so much better. See, I'm just getting used to vlogging and I have no idea how to handle it. Maybe one day I will. I'm not really sure. I've always wanted to do vlogging and sort of document my life, and I think it's because I love YouTube so much and I just keep imagining the sorts of videos I would make. So sometimes I make them and sometimes they are very, very stupid, but I'll like post them anyway, and then if they're so stupid, I will take them off. Now, some of them, even if they are kind of a dumb theme, I don't really think they're that bad, but if you've been following me at all, you'll notice that some of them will go away. Mostly because I feel like they aren't consistent with the overall theme that I want my channel to hold. And I want this to be a channel that's interesting and fun and consistent, but maybe it has like a little bit of variety as well. I really love YouTube, so here I am on YouTube documenting probably the most boring parts of my week, because honestly I've been having a lot of fun because I am spending so much time with just my sister, my brother-in-law, and her children, which are so precious and so cute. You cannot fathom their cuteness. But obviously for their privacy, I am not recording any of that. I almost wonder to myself, because this is sort of becoming an outlet for me, I'm almost wondering if maybe I should document it anyway, but just not show you guys, and kind of keep it as like a home video situation. Anyone remember those? Because I honestly don't think many people make them anymore. Maybe I'm wrong. Most people just want to show off their life. Oh, other news in general. So I have been applying to jobs, temporary jobs, to hold down for the time that I am in the US, which might be prolonged past what I am planning on doing. Yeah, so I applied to jobs and I got one because of the drastic
desperate need for the job in this time. Just know that it's a job that is not a profession. So I'm not obviously in medical care or anything like that, but it is a job that is so desperately needed right now because so many people are quarantined, or perhaps they are they're social distancing so heavily and they're avoiding leaving their house. So it's a job that is assisting others. So as a missionary, your goal is to spread the gospel and spread the good news of Jesus. I just really want people to receive Christ and to be able to receive forgiveness from their sins and have that opportunity to get healed and grow in Him and have a shot at eternal life. But yeah, I don't know why God called me to London, because it's honestly not even close to what I imagined. I thought I would be somewhere in the third world, or I thought I would be somewhere in some country in Asia, because honestly I'm so passionate about Asia and the different countries there, like the Philippines. I really love Thailand. I love Korea and Japan. I visited so many different countries in my lifetime. Yeah, so I have at least somewhat of a grasp on how unique cultures and their thinking and what they consider to be ethical or unethical or honorable or dishonorable is so dramatically different when it's the East from the West. Anyway, I don't know why I'm called to London. All I know is I am, and I'm just gonna obey God, because I have spent time disobeying God before, and it's not really that fun. And I know He knows best, so that's going to happen. Yeah, I think this is enough of a vlog update for now. I might go on a hike later. Okay, so today is my last day in quarantine. So everything is kind of a little chaotic and messy, but I'm packing up, and I'm kind of mostly packed up. I just have some, ridiculous piles of chaos around. So I'm actually really sad to be leaving my sister and her husband and all the kids, but yeah, I'm really excited to go home finally, so that'll be great.